All right, everybody, here is the work we did in class on the personal narrative assignment. So I'm in the personal narrative folder, notebook, in the Unit 4 folder. So here's the story we watched last week. Here's the transcript of it, The Bad Haircut. And this is the plot arc that I asked you guys to do for homework and the quick summary. So if you haven't done this part of it, make sure you get that done because this is a practice for what we're going to do with our own stories. In class, we also discussed some of the narrative techniques that he uses and kind of outlined those techniques. And we did that because we're going to be using these techniques in our own story to make it really sing. So in class this week, on Monday or Tuesday, we talked about the personal narrative assignment. And the prompt is, think of a time in your life where you took a risk, where you stepped out of your comfort zone. It might be a physical risk or a psychological one. You might have stepped forward to protect another person or defend your personal beliefs or values. And I picked this because, and you may have written about this, it's a very common prompt, but I picked this thinking about the risk that Alkeo took. And also because when we take risks, they tend to stay pretty vivid in our brains. And so being able to recall something that took you out of your comfort zone is a little bit easier than some other writing prompts. So once you've given that some thought, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time to think about what you want to write about, and also think small. You know, Alkeo talked about getting a haircut. This doesn't have to be some life-changing, enormous risk that you took. It can be a small thing. And you'll see in mine, I picked one short, usually the smallest, shortest thing turns into the best story. So here is my Quickwrite. When I was a freshman at UCLA, I once allowed my boyfriend to drive my Volkswagen Beetle down Highway 1. He drove the car like he was driving a race course, crossing over the center line, passing other cars on blind corners, all the while with the music blaring and smoking cigarette after cigarette. To the right of me was the Pacific Ocean, 100 feet below, and to the left, the mountainside. I tried to remain calm and cool, pretending like I was all right with this daredevil driving, but I really wasn't. So that's just my quick response, just quickly thinking of an event. And so the next step for you to do once you've done your Quickwrite is to then, like we did with Coyote Dream, like we did with The Bad Haircut, is now to plot out your own plot arc with your story. And this can be really helpful in helping you recall key details that you might not have added to your Quickwrite. So now you're going to rewrite your story. For example, here's a detail I didn't have in my Quickwrite. I had been dating my boyfriend for about a year. He was also going to school in LA, so that's why we were driving together. This one, oh my goodness, I didn't even remember this. He didn't even have a driver's license because he and a friend had pushed a car over a cliff and were arrested for it. Yeah, he was captain of the football team. I was goody two-shoes. It's kind of reminds me of Grease. I never got a B in my life and went to UCLA, and he did not go to that school. So anyway, then you're going to, what's the inciting incident? Well, I gave him the keys. Rising action. Make sure when you reach the climax of your story, it should be pretty intense. So think of some details that you might add so that the climax of your story is fairly intense. It should hit the reader pretty hard. Falling action and then resolution. So hopefully as you create the plot arc for your story, you're recalling some details from the story that you didn't have in your Quickwrite. And then the last thing we did in class was our first rewrite, which is to take this plot arc, all these details, and copy and paste them here into your first rewrite. Now we're going to work over the next 2 weeks on several rewrites. Each one we're going to add, we've done this one, each one we're going to add some new details, new narrative techniques. So hopefully by the end we'll have something as riveting and genuine as the bad haircut. All right, so that is what you missed in class today, or this might be a good review for you.